Files.
I can remember an incident that happened when I was 8 years old. This was December 24th, 2008. I was at my parents' friend's house for a Christmas party. I can remember being very excited because I knew everybody that was going to be there, all the kids there. I knew some of the kids from school and from our parents hanging out. I had a good friend by the name of Katrina who hung out with me all the time. We also had sleepovers almost every weekend. At one point, I remember it being very late and all of us being in Katrina's room playing. I happened to look outside and I saw who I thought was Santa Claus with a big present in his hand walking toward the house. I called everyone that was in the room over to the window. Katrina got very excited when she saw who it was. She said it was her uncle. The guy rang the doorbell as Katrina ran out of her room and down the stairs as the rest of us stayed in her room playing. Then out of nowhere, we heard loud pops which sounded like gunshots. We heard the adults yelling and screaming. I walked over to the stairs, looked down the stairs, and I saw someone laying at the bottom of the stairs face down. He wasn't moving. I began to walk down the stairs as the other kids followed me. Then all of a sudden, my mother and father came barreling up the stairs along with other grown-ups. They pushed us up the stairs and picked some of us up. They kept yelling to jump out of the windows because there was a guy downstairs who was spraying gasoline and shooting people. We sprinted to the first window that we saw as everyone else went to other rooms rushing to the different windows. I saw someone with my friend Katrina in their arms, but she wasn't moving, and she was bleeding from her face. Everyone began jumping. A lot of the grown-ups went first before the kids so they can catch the kids as they jumped out of the second-story window. The man dressed as Santa Claus escaped. But I found out what happened to Katrina and everyone else. After he rang the doorbell, the door was open, and Katrina ran to greet the man, who was actually her uncle. He then shot her in the face and began to shoot at other guests. He then began to spray gasoline inside the house and set it on fire. By the way, his name is Bruce Pardo. A few people ran down the street and called 911. This is one of the 911 calls.
Yes, I'm on Northwest Avenue. I'm a homicidal guide, and he shot my little cousin right now.
Okay, can you tell if there's anybody injured? Because we have fire department and officers en route.
Hello?
Hi.
Please come immediately.
Who's in your house?
Immediately.
Ma'am, is the guy in your house right now?
We're having 2 houses down on the cul de.
Okay. Ma'am, hold on. Is he at your house?
Yes, he's shooting.
What do you think his name is, Bruce?
His name is Bruce Pardo.
Okay, and who is he to you guys?
Excuse me?
Who is he to you?
He's my ex-brother-in-law. They're going through this right now.
Okay.
With my sister.
Hold on 1 second, okay?
I don't know who else is alive.
I know, ma'am. Just stay on the phone with me, okay?
My whole family, there's 30 people, 25 people.
I know. It's okay. The officers are there. They're trying to get to you guys, okay?
He came in through the entrance of the door, and there's a Santa Claus suit, and I didn't see from when he shot. I heard the shots, and they were like poppers, and I wasn't sure what it was, so everyone started panicking and running, so we all dove under the dining room. Some of us dove, and some of us left. I don't know. My mom's house is on the...
Ma'am, the fire department's there, okay? What's he wearing?
What is he wearing, please? What is he wearing? Please tell me. My nephew, what is he wearing now? He changed his clothes from Santa Claus clothes.
Okay, let me know what he's wearing.
Black clothes.
All black?
On neighbor's stores.
After the man drove away, he went to his brother's house, his second house, which was about 30 minutes away. But when the cops got to him, he took his own life already. My friend Katrina lived, but I will never forget that night. In 2013, a family tragedy happened that changed my life. I lived in an apartment with my nephew and my boyfriend. My nephew lived with us with the agreement that he would get a job and go to school. After living with us for 6 months, he failed to do either, so I told him that he needed to move out because he wasn't paying any rent. So on Christmas Eve night, going into Christmas, I went to a party leaving my boyfriend and nephew at home. While I was at the party, I was contacted by police. What I was contacted for was very disturbing. My boyfriend and nephew went out to get more beers and alcohol for the house. When they got back, my nephew, whose name is Alexis by the way, he had a hammer prior to that day, got it while my boyfriend's back was turned, and beat my boyfriend to death with the hammer. As the details were explained to me, I became very sick. After killing my boyfriend, he did certain things to the body that I don't want to go into detail about. You can look it up yourself. Then he decapitated him and left his head on my pillow. His reason for leaving his head on my pillow was to give me a present. I guess he thought it was funny. He called 911 himself. When the cops got to my apartment, he told them that if I had come home, then he would have killed me too. My nephew's name is Alexis Valdez. He eventually was sentenced to 33 years for what he did. I just don't understand the sentence. He should have received life. It's unfortunate what happened to my boyfriend, but I'm glad that I didn't come home earlier. I just want to start off by saying Christmas is my favorite holiday. But every year I remember what happened to my family and I on Christmas in 2019. I was 12 years old and I went to my cousin's house with my family to celebrate Christmas. It was a very fun night from what I remember. My family and I decided to stay at my cousin's house to sleep over because our house was far away. We got a guest bedroom and my family and I slept, but when I woke up, it was around 4 a.m. I heard noises downstairs and I decided to go check it out. When I went downstairs, I saw someone dressed as Santa Claus and I saw him looking around in the kitchen and looking for gifts under the trees, but there really wasn't any gifts left because my family and I opened them and there were only a few under the tree. I went back upstairs and I woke my dad up. My dad went downstairs with me and there was no one inside the house. My dad just told me I had a bad dream. I just decided to go back to sleep and in the morning when everyone woke up, we were getting ready to eat breakfast. My uncle went in the basement to go get some drinks and he saw the basement window shattered and it looked like someone climbed in. My uncle called the cops and when the cops came, they couldn't find any evidence of someone breaking in except for the shattered window. My whole family was scared. My uncle and dad checked the whole house just to see if anything was stolen. My uncle and dad came running downstairs and came to the kitchen where all of us were and said they heard something in the attic. Then they went to go check it out. Then they started yelling because they saw the man that I saw dressed as Santa hiding behind a bunch of boxes. They called the cops again and all of us went outside to wait for the cops to arrive. When the cops came, they went running inside and they pulled the man out of the attic and they found out that he had a knife and duct tape on him. The officer said it wasn't just our house because multiple people were reporting that there was a man dressed as Santa trying to break into their homes. We were the fourth call. The officers also told us that these people dressed as Santa worked at separate malls and they got fired because they were trying to kidnap little kids. Not gonna lie, that was a freaky night. Pause.
Nightmare Files.